So today, we will discuss the ellipse. Ellipse is a set of all points in a plane such that the sum of its distances from two fixed points is constant. Just like here, there are two focuses or foci. Focuses are the two fixed points of the ellipse. As you can see here, C and 0, negative C and 0. Now, the principal axis or focal axis is the line through the foci. Now, let us move to vertices. Vertices are points where the ellipse crosses its focal axis. It is also the endpoints of major axis, which is presented here as A0 and negative A0. Now, the major axis. The major axis is the line segment joining the two vertices. The major axis here is the horizontal. Center is the midpoint of the major axis. As you can see the little c there. Minor axis is the segment perpendicular to the principal axis at the center. The minor axis here is the vertical line. Co-vertices are the endpoints of the minor axis, represented here as 0, B, and 0 and negative B. But wait, there's more. The directrix or directrices are two parallel lines on the outside of an ellipse. You can see here. And lastly, we will now discuss the eccentricity. Eccentricity is the roundness of the curve. Always remember that the circle has 0 eccentricity, parabola is equal to 1, hyperbola is greater than 1, and ellipse that's less than 0 or less than 1. There are two types of ellipse, the x-axis and the y-axis. Now, the y-axis is an ellipse that focuses on the horizontal line, or it has more components such as the foci and vertices. Now, the y-axis. As you can see here, it is more focused in the vertical line, where there are two focuses and the vertices are there. Now, the equation. X squared over a squared plus y squared over b squared equals 1. That's for the x-axis. And x squared over b squared plus y squared over a squared is the y-axis. Now let's go to the vertices. The vertex or vertices of x-axis is plus and minus a and 0. And y is 0, plus and minus a. Co-vertices with the x-axis is 0, plus and minus b. And for the y-axis, it is plus and minus b and 0. For the foci, positive and negative c and 0. 0 and positive and negative c. The directrices of the two axes are positive and negative a squared divided by c. Lactus rectum with the two times b squared divided by a. And the endpoints, which is positive and negative c and positive and negative b squared over a. And opposite in the y-axis. Notes to remember. Major axis is 2 times a. Minor axis is 2 times b. The length of lactus rectum is 2 times b squared over a. Eccentricity is c over a. And the formula for c squared is a squared minus b squared. The endpoints are b squared over a. Now, let's try to answer a question. Let's go! Well, the given question is, the Sun orbits the Earth with a given of x squared over 36 and y squared over 25 equals 1. What is the ellipse? We determined that the x-axis is the major axis because the denominator is bigger than y squared. The a here is square root of 36, which is 6. The b is square root of 25, which is 5. And the c here is 36 minus 25 is 11. And the square root of 11 is 3.31. The center here is 0, 0 because there is no hk. The principal axis or major axis is x-axis because a squared is bigger than b squared. Now the vertices are positive and negative a and 0, which is 6, 0 and negative 6, 0. Co-vertices are 0 and positive and negative b. Now the foci. Foci is c, positive and negative c and 0. So it's 3.31 and 0 and negative 3.31 and 0. The length and endpoints of lactus rectum. The length is 2 times b squared over a. And the c and the endpoints are c, b squared over a. Alternate change of signs. Wherein the length is 2 times 25 over 6 is equals to 8.34 units. Now the endpoints. 25 over 6 is 4.16. Now copy the c and the positive negative 4.16. It is a variety of different signs. Now let us proceed the eccentricity. The formula of eccentricity is c over a, which is 3.31 divided by 6 is equals to 0.55. Now the directrices. The formula for directrices is a squared over c, which is 31 divided by 3.31 is equal to 10 positive and negative 10.88. Now let us proceed to the minor and major axis, which is the formula is 2 times a and 2 times b. The major axis is 2 times 6, which is 12, and then the minor is 2 times 5, which is 10 units. With all this, we can now graph the ellipse. Now, time to recap the parts of the ellipse. Center, which is 0, 0. Vertices, which is positive and negative 6 and 0. Co-vertices, 0 and positive negative b, which is this. Foci, 3.31 and 0 and negative 3.31 and 0. Length of lactus rectum is 8.34 units, and endpoints, which is a variety of different signs, which is positive and negative c and positive and negative b squared over a. And the directrices, which is wait a minute, I forgot. Which is positive and negative 10.87. Now, let's go and do the graph. By graphing, let's start with the center. The center here is 0, 0. The next one is the vertices. The vertices is equals to positive and negative a over and 0. As you can see here, it's 6 and 0 and negative 6 and 0. The next one here is the co-vertices, which is determined by 0 and positive and negative b, which is 0 and 5 and 0 and negative 5. The next one is the focuses or the foci in the ellipse. It is equal to positive and negative c and 0. The given here is 3.31 and 0 and negative 3.31 and 0. Let me point it for you. Now, we proceed to the endpoints of the ellipse, which is 3.31 and positive 4.16, 3.31, negative 4.16, negative 3.31, positive 4.16, and negative 3.31 and negative 4.16. After that is the directrices of the ellipse, which is positive and negative 10.87. Now that all is said and done, we can now graph the ellipse. We can now draw its roundness. And that's it for drawing the ellipse. Thank you. Reflection. From what I have learned, ellipse is right in every corner, or it's just here surrounding us every day. and we haven't fully noticed it yet until we put our attention on it. Just like how the planets orbits other planets and how round is an egg. From my opinion, ellipse is very important in our existence because it does help us in certain ways in terms of balance, studies, art, design, and many more.